Tonight for dinner, we're having bistec encebollado, steak with onions. Let me show you how I do it. In this bowl, I have some cubed steak that I just got at the supermarket. This recipe is so easy. It actually is one of my very favorite steak recipes because it's one of those just dump and let it cook type of meals. You know what I mean? It also takes the most basic of ingredients. So we're gonna start off, we're gonna season with some adobo. I'm actually gonna put just a little bit of avocado oil in here just to get those seasonings all around. Onion powder. Be generous with the onion powder because this is bistec encebollado or steak with onions. Garlic powder, black pepper, and some oregano. I'm normally a little bit generous with the adobo this time because I'm not adding any extra salt ingredients to this. And then a splash of vinegar. Give that a mix, get all those seasonings around. Now you can add a packet of sazon to this. You can add some paprika if you want to. This is actually going to be one of the very rare times that you see me not add something that's going to give this color. I don't know, there's something more traditional about the paleness of the steak when you eat it with the onions, so I've always left it this way, and it's delicious either way. I'm going to let this sit to the side and marinate while I get everything else together. In a bowl here, I sliced up 2 small onions, and what I'm going to do is, while my steaks cook, I'm going to let these onions sit in some vinegar, okay? I'm also gonna add a little bit of salt to them and some pepper and a little bit of avocado oil. Again, let it sit to the side while we get everything else ready. Honestly, get everything else together with this meal is literally just make sure your white rice is cooking, and I have some beans that I made a while back that I froze, so I'm gonna put those on the stove so they could start heating up. Look at that delicious sofrito I made yesterday. A little bit of avocado oil, and sofrito is very powerful, so I'm only gonna put a little bit, maybe like a tablespoon. Now I'm gonna put my steaks in. Like I said, this is a dump and go meal. We're literally just putting them all in the pot together. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to this. I put my heat down to medium and I put the lid on, and I'm just gonna let them cook. Once my steaks start bubbling up in there, I'm going to start flipping them. I'm just gonna put a piece of aluminum foil over because I don't want all those delicious juices to evaporate faster than I need them to. And then we just let her go, let her cook. Now that she's been bubbling away, those vinegary delicious onions, we're gonna add them on top. I'm gonna take about this much chicken bouillon powder. See that tiny little bit? Because I don't want to add too much salt to this. I put it into a cup of water. I don't want this to get too salty, but I also don't want it to get bland by adding just plain old water, you know? So I'm gonna pour this in there little by little. Put our lid right back on and let it keep going. At this point, I have my heat a little bit above low just because I wanted to start tenderizing with those onions. This smells absolutely incredible. Let's taste. Altogether, I cooked the steaks for about 30 minutes without the onions, and then I put the vinegary onions on top and let it go low and slow for about, I want to say for about another 30 to 45 minutes, just depending on how many steaks and the thickness of your steaks. But realistically, this is pretty forgiving because of how tender you want it to get. Just be careful that they don't start to completely fall apart. I'm so excited to taste this. Growing up, this was one of my very favorite meals that my grandmother used to make. A little bite of everything. Got that steak, some rice and beans. And you see how tender that is? I'm literally breaking it apart with a fork. That's what you want. You get a little hint of those vinegary onions. So good.